pieces. So here we sit as a community of people at a time when awareness about this incredibly horrible problem is skyrocketing. And guess what we have?
A solution that we've had since 2017 when nobody was talking about glyphosate.
And, you know, I'm a solution person. I think I drive my wife crazy because she starts talking about a problem, I don't even listen. I just start trying to fix it. And she goes, stop and listen about how I feel about this problem. I said, I can't change how you feel, but I could probably change the problem. And so that's who we are. That's who Amy and I have always been. We're problem solvers. We saw big, huge problems and we said somebody's got to do something about this. And thank goodness she agreed to be, along with me, two of those somebodies, just like you've agreed to be, along with us, 100 of those somebodies. So thank you, not from the bottom of my heart, but from the center of my heart. Thank you for believing in what we do. Thank you for taking a chance on us. And thank you for caring enough about your family, yourself, and your community that we are going to, and we are doing something about it. And I know I'm totally off script, but back to you.
That's totally okay. Awesome, Dave. So my next question is, who here is signed up for the Common Ground Watch Party next Sunday? Raise your hand if you're signed up. Okay, maybe if you're hearing about it for the very first time, we're having a watch party online. You can go to iShopPurium.com. You could go to the events calendar, look next Sunday, March 8th, and it's going to be at 2:30 Pacific. Now, last time we had almost 400 people. Our goal is to fill up 1,000 lines. 1,000 Zoom lines to get this educational material out to people. Because just like I didn't know too much about glyphosate in 2016 and 17 when we started working on this problem, there's a lot of people out in the world that are unfamiliar with the true dangers of glyphosate. And the movie really sets it up and shares beautifully.
If you're near Lake Isabella, come by and watch it with me. I'm not a broadcast on my wall.
So there's a product, and yeah, I'm off script now too, but we got to talk about the solution. We talked about the problem. We talked about the Common Ground watch party next Sunday. Our solution that is exclusive to Purium is this product right here. This product is part of our most popular package, the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation. It's called Biome Medic. And in 2017, we did a small-scale human clinical trial. And in that trial, in just 6 short weeks, this product removed up to 74% of glyphosate from people's bodies. And this was tested.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. I mean, if you stop and think about that, that's pretty fast, considering that it's been building up in your body for your entire life. But there's a correlation, a corollary that Amy loves and I love, and that is that C-reactive protein, it is a biomarker for inflammation, and inflammation is what glyphosate does to the body. The way it kills you is by totally inflaming your tissue, totally inflaming your brain, totally inflaming your digestive tract, and inflammation was reduced by 75%. And this is like, this is a scream it from the rooftops moment.
It is, because inflammation really is the enemy, and inflammation exacerbates. It makes every metabolic issue that we have worse. And so if we can naturally support the body's response to inflammation by getting the glyphosate out of the body, bringing down that C-reactive protein at the very same time, so many other symptoms and conditions just go away.
Amy's favorite corollary is the lining of your gut. Tell them about that.
Yeah, at the same time, the study proved that it improved gastrointestinal integrity. So has anyone here, have you heard of leaky gut? We know our guts can get these little microscopic tears in them, and then it leaks out protein and toxins and all types of things into the bloodstream that can create inflammation, can create allergic reactions in the body. And so this product in the same study, the intestinal integrity is what they called it.
Gut permeability.
Gut permeability, it increased 35%. So those little microscopic tears began to close up. And that was just in 6 short weeks. So this is a product that I've been on for years. I love it. It's something that we recommend everyone be on because we can't get away from this. Even if we choose to eat organic, there's glyphosate in the air, there's glyphosate in the water, it's sprayed on our golf courses, it's sprayed at our parks. We can't get away from it. It is pervasive, so we might as well give our body a fighting chance to get it out of our body on a daily basis. So
who goes for a walk around your neighborhood?
Oh, yeah.
Then none of you are not exposed to glyphosate because your neighbors use something called Roundup. And Roundup literally is glyphosate in a bottle. It just goes by a different name. When they use it on our crops, they call it glyphosate. When they give it to you and sell it to you for your garden, it's called Roundup. But guess what? It's the same cancer-causing chemical, proven cancer-causing chemical, and your kid could go out in your garage and go, oh, what's this? And not even know what it is. And yet, somehow, this stuff is still legal.
Absolutely, and glyphosate's really personal to me. I grew up in Texas. My uncle farmed cotton, and every season you would defoliate the cotton before you would go with the harvester and pick the cotton. It would make it easier. And so he literally was dousing fields in an open air tractor with glyphosate. And and he was doing this since glyphosate came out in the 70s. So my uncle died of an early premature death with too many conditions to even count. And he was so depressed because he lost his mobility, he couldn't farm anymore. He didn't want to live. So with all these conditions and no will to live, he died in his early 60s. And I saw what this chemical exposure had done to him. We didn't know it at the time. We didn't know how horrible this chemical was, but there's one thing that stood out from me being a little girl is when he would defoliate, he said, I have to drink 2 gallons of milk a day. And I always thought, well, God, that's a lot of milk. And now I know that dairy creates mucus, but because he was so exposed to that and his whole GI tract was...
He needed the mucus.
Exactly, his whole GI tract was so inflamed from so much exposure to glyphosate, he was doing that instinctively to protect himself. Now, it wasn't enough. He's not here anymore, and he died a horrible death. He was over 400 pounds, obese, and so this is really personal to me. It's really personal because this chemical killed my uncle.
And I knew this man. He was a good guy.
So, anyway, we're really passionate about glyphosate. We're really, really passionate about getting the message out and this solution that we have here at Purium. But I want to talk a little bit about our philosophy. I want to talk about a little bit about who we are as a company. I've been here for 30 years because I was introduced to a way of life by this guy right here. He walked up to me and he used a technique we now call carefrontation. He was like, hey, I happen to notice you're having some problems with your skin, and I think I have a solution for you.
Now look at her skin.
And I was 19 years old. I wanted to die. I wanted to crawl under the table because I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want anyone to see what I was suffering with. And it not only had affected me physically, it affected me emotionally as well. But to fast forward and make the story a little bit shorter, he told me about a food philosophy. The quality of food that you eat is equal to the quality of life that you live. That was new, it was a foreign concept. I had never connected what I put in my body to the way I looked, I felt, I performed in athletics, the way I was able to focus as a student. I had never put those two things together. And so that philosophy was mind-blowing and eye-opening. And then he gave me a product that's an ingredient in the Power Shake. Is wheatgrass, is green food, and he said, take this on a daily basis. This is gonna cleanse your body. This is gonna detox. It's gonna alkalize your body. And so all those things happened, and, go ahead.
So about 6 weeks later, she calls me and she goes, wow, that stuff really works. I said, you started taking it about a week ago? And she goes, yeah. Because it works that fast.
We didn't have flavored back then. So has anybody ever had a shot of wheatgrass? Yeah, a shot of wheatgrass is pretty tough, but we have appleberry flavoring now, so it makes it much easier to do on a daily basis. But
sorry to interrupt you.
I began to take the product, and things started to change, not only physically in my body, not only with my skin. The redness was gone, but it was really what happened emotionally, the way I felt about myself. And instead of slamming doors on opportunity, like literally, I decided not to go off to college because I didn't want to be seen. Like, I was all set up to go off to UT, and I just decided not to do that and to stay at home. But the changes that had happened to me were so profound that I picked up everything I knew in my life in a simple small town in Texas, moved out to California to lock arms with Dave to get this message out to the world.
Now you gotta understand that she grew up in farm country. She's a straight A student, like 4.4, like GP. I didn't even know they could go above 4. But anyway, it did. She was a great dancer, brilliant dancer. And she literally bought into this future of changing people's lives and ending suffering. I don't think she knew what she was getting into.
Probably not. At 20 years old. You're welcome. And I knew it was such a profound change. And when people don't know what they don't know, how do you make the best decisions for yourself? Like, again, my parents had no idea the connection of food and what was happening in my body. They had no idea. And so I just decided when I found that out and these things happened that I wanted to change that. I wanted to be part of the change. I wanted to help educate people to know so they could make better decisions for themselves and their families. And so I've been here for, I can't even believe it, 31 years. January was 31 years that I've lived in California, that Dave and I have been doing this together. In the early days when we first started, we had 1,200 square feet. Our whole facility wasn't much bigger than this room. This room's about 1,000 square feet. And we manufactured everything by hand, and we lived there too. And so it's been amazing to lead this company, and from not knowing anything, just being a 20-year-old excited about a dream, to being the CEO, president and CEO of this company that serves tens of thousands of people, changes tens of thousands of lives. And it's my biggest honor and privilege that I've been able to do that, and that literally is what I've dedicated my life to doing.
Awesome. And I sold everything I owned. I had been a pretty successful trader in the stock world. I did other things as well. I sold everything I owned. I borrowed $500,000 from a man I didn't even know from Australia who just believed in the story I told him over the phone in the middle of the night somehow. And we put it all into this dream. And we invested in organic farmers. We invested in the world's most incredible technology that converted food without heat, into a powder, without any binder, filler, excipient, into a powder that's stable for years. And we began to blend and mix those organic, stable, living foods together. And the rest is sort of history, but not quite, because we're rewriting history. Today, we want to talk to you about how I believe we've next leveled what we call the ultimate lifestyle transformation is now going to be the super ultimate, like, not joking, but we really have found a way to next level it, and I'm excited to tell you how, a little bit more about that when the time is right.
Yeah, so I mean, our philosophy all along is you gotta put these foods into your body on a daily, consistent basis. That's where the magic happens, because toxins and they're coming at you every single day. And so we saw out there in the early days that people would go all out when they received some sort of diagnosis, right? They juice, they cleanse, they do whatever it takes when they got some sort of diagnosis. But we were like, why do you have to wait to get some sort of diagnosis? And then
Why do you have to get some really, really bad news before you start doing some really, really good things, I think is what she's saying.
Exactly, and then what we also saw is that once people got to the other side of that diagnosis, they would relax, they'd stop, because it took so much time. Taking care of yourself could be a part-time or full-time job, to juice and to go to the farmer's market and, you know, to get the kind of food that you need. And so that's where what we do at Purium, it's so beautiful, because it makes it easy, it makes it convenient to get this kind of quality of food into your body on a daily, consistent basis.
Has anybody heard of a food desert?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we all actually live in one, even if we live in the middle of a city with the Whole Foods 5 miles away, because unless you walk or drive down there, ride your bike down there 3 times a day and spend, like, I just spent, remember I said the other day, $16 on a combination of greens and beets and carrot and stuff down at the Whole Foods, and they put it in a plastic glass and asked me to drink it through a plastic straw, and I'm like, ah! You know, seriously, I'm like, yay, I'm about to have this like huge, I saw, they're putting all the vegetables in there, and it's like music to me, you know, and all of a sudden, I see them putting in that plastic cup, and I didn't know, I can't tell you how it made me feel. You know, well, I got that feeling here. When I asked our shipping manager, how many packages do we ship a month? He says 30,000. I said, how many things are in each one? He said about 3 to 5. I said, so we're shipping 150,000 plastic jars a month out of this building? And then we did something about that.
Yeah, we did something about that too. Like 2016, 17 were busy years for us. But that's when the plastic-free packaging initiative started. And it's been a long road, but we're so excited and proud that all of our products but one have been converted over to a plastic-free solution. And, you know, we saved well over 300,000 pounds of plastic from going into landfill. And that's something that we are incredibly proud of.
And I know I digressed into that, so I'm sorry. But I just want to let you know that, like, we're not really afraid of stuff, in case you haven't noticed. Like, people, you know, I tell a joke and said when I was a kid, they kept telling me I was nobody. So when I grew up and they said nobody could do that, I said, oh, must be giving me the job, you know? And that's not far from the truth. So again, thank you for believing in a nobody, because we've changed a lot of things and we're not done yet. So I want to tell you how I believe we've made a massive upgrade to the ultimate lifestyle transformation, and I'll let you have the floor first.
Okay, well, I was just going to talk about, before we jumped into that, our belief in organics, our belief in non-GMO, our belief in quality. And I can say that because Dave and I own well over 95% of the company, and so it's each other that we answer to, that quality is our bottom line. And when you look at this package right here and you see manufactured and distributed by Purium, that means a lot. That is something that holds a lot of weight. That we have SOPs, we have formulas that we control, we have procedures that happen. We're a GMP, certified GMP facility, we're certified kosher, we're certified organic. Our sourcing practices, we were looking for organics before there even was a certified organic out there. We had regenerative farms before it was all blown up in the news. And so because we've been manufacturing for 30 years, we know what we're doing. And so it's nice when you get to actually look at who makes your food, you get to connect with the person who makes your food, because 100 and something years ago, you knew the farmer who grew your food, you knew the person at the corner market, our great-grandparents or grandparents did, and there were no chemicals in your food. And so we are doing our best to recreate that with these formulas and this package that we have here at Purium. So Dave.
Can I tell one more story?
Sure.
Okay. So a while back, there was no such thing as USDA organic. And so we had an association that was built upon what was called traditional Korean farming practices. Has anybody heard of that? Okay, it's okay. Well, trust me, if you are really into how you grow food, traditional Korean farming practices are the ultimate. And so a bunch of crazy hippies up in Oregon created the Organic Crop Improvement Association based upon those principles. So we called ourselves the Organic CIA, because we would spy on each other to make sure that you were keeping the standards that we had set into the Crop Improvement Association. So when the USDA decided that they wanted something to build their standards off of, guess who they came to? Us. They came to the Organic Crop Improvement Association. 95%, if not more, of what the USDA adopted actually came from the OCIA, actually came from those traditional Korean farming practices. And so I just wanted to give you a little background that we were organic before organic was cool, and we're still here fighting for you.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about the ultimate lifestyle transformation. Let's talk about the massive upgrade that just happened.
Okay, so who here hired somebody to go out and to buy organic food for you, and to buy organic herbs from you, and buy organic extracts for you, and to compound them into unique formulas, and then deliver them right to your doorstep? You all did, because that person's us. That's what we do for you. So imagine that you get over 100 high-quality organic food concentrates formulated, packaged, and delivered right to your doorstep for an entire month's worth of food, for an entire month's worth of sustenance. So I'm really, really proud that we are doing that. I'm really proud that you came to us to do it for you. And don't forget how significant that is. When people tell you or ask you, what do you do with Purium? Say, I hired a company that literally does this incredible thing for me. They find the organic food, they compound it into formulas, they package it into the most amazing plant-free packaging, or plant packaging, and then they bring it to my doorstep every month. So can anybody just give it up for that? I don't think we realize how freaking awesome that is. That is amazing. So what we have done is we put together a program that for years was just a little bit shy of what I thought was perfect, because it did not have one thing that we all need really, really bad, and that is essential fatty acids. The longer the chain, the fatty acids, the better, the EPAs, and the essential fatty acids that come from DHA, and we see that type of fat is so important for our bodies, for our brains, for our heart, for our central nervous system, so important, for reproduction. It's so important for the quality of our milk once we have reproduced, right? And and this is a critical thing in human health, and we thought we want to add that missing piece. We want to add that piece to the puzzle, so that we offer somebody an ultimate lifestyle of pure food, that they're going to get that as well. So I'm super, super excited that we have, in fact, delivered just that. And we call it the Alpha Omega because alpha, see, I liked that name because alpha to me sort of meant like, you know, like the alpha predator, you know, or apex predator, like they're the ones, it's the best, you know. So the alpha is the best, this is the best fat that you can find. And there's a few reasons why. You know, first of all, let's say, has anybody ever heard of fish oil? Right? You go and you eat a lot of salmon, and that's part of what they call, you know, the Mediterranean lifestyle. And they say that you want to eat 3 servings of salmon a week and all of this. But what if you're vegan? What if you don't like the quality of fat that comes from fish? You know, what if that just doesn't meet your standard? Well, that's what we're really proud of, is that we have like an essential fatty acids, a long chain fatty acid that is vegan, that actually comes from where the salmon got it, right? So the salmon had to get that fat somewhere. And so this is where they get it. So we're at the top of the chain. It is so clean. It is so easy for the body to digest, and literally from your head to your toes, it's offering you benefits. It's good for your neurotransmissions. And you all know what nerve bundles are, those places where the nerves come together, sort of like this, like where wires come together, right? And they get wrapped with, say, electrical tape. Has anybody ever seen that? Where 2 wires come together and they get wrapped with electrical tape. Well, in the body, the electrical tape is made out of these fatty acids. These long chain fatty acids are what protect our nerve bundles, so that when we have a thought, when our brain tells our muscle to do something, that it works. And if you know it, obviously, I hate to even use this reference, because this is where my personal story comes in, where my aunt passed away because she had, you know, multiple sclerosis. And so these fats in our body are so critical for so many reasons, whether it's your brain, whether it's your heart, whether it's the way your body communicates from one nerve bundle to the other, whether it's your skin. There are so many ways that this fat is important to your eyes as well. And so when we're putting this last piece of the puzzle in, we don't have to say, hey, have our Love Super Meal with flaxseed, have these other things with the seeds, because a lot of people are looking for something more like this. That's all I could say. A lot of people are looking for something more like this. Do you want to hold it up?
Yeah, so we're super excited. We have this here in the building. You can take it away if you place an order, or we'll call today, our Alpha Omega. And so it is.
I already opened it and tried it.
Yeah, so these are graduated droppers. So a serving is 2 droppers full. So 2 droppers full, and this is a 30-day supply, and it tastes really incredible. It tastes like lemon zest. So it's really, really pleasant to just take 2 droppers full in your mouth, and we recommend it to take it with a meal or with your shake. And you don't necessarily have to mix it in your shake. You can if you want, but I just take it in my mouth, but do it with your shake or do it with a meal to get the maximum absorption in your body.
Absolutely. So again, you know, if you were to look at what they call the Mediterranean diet, and you look at what is recommended, we really feel that as a plant-based company, as a company that provides so much concentrated whole food organic nutrition, that this is truly, you know, sort of like a real feather in our cap, or whatever term you want to use. We think that this is something that you could really lean into, something you can be proud of, and say that, you know, this program, the Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation, is now going to include, okay, it's now going to include the EPA, DHA, Alpha, Omega. And so how do you guys feel about that? And how many of you were already out there spending like health food budget dollars on an Omega? All right.
A bunch of us, yeah.
Well, now I believe you're going to really love the taste, the quality, and the price that we have to offer you. Okay, so anything else to wrap up on the Alpha Omega?
No, I think that's it. Yeah, let's talk about sleep nightly.
Okay, so there is an adjustment happening with the ultimate lifestyle transformation. I want to have some transparency here because you know that we always tell you the truth. We had a crop failure on our organic fields for tart cherry. It was almost an entire full crop failure where the entire crop was lost. And for the last few months, we had been buying it at one price, which was the high price, and selling it to you at another price, which was the low price. So imagine you were buying silver and selling it, you know what I mean, the same way. The price has gone up dramatically, and we were still selling it to you, the cherry, because we wanted to hold the line until we had a replacement that was logical. And we found it, we came up with it, and there's a big shift coming in the cherry portion of the ULT. And if you're hearing it for the first time here, I want to tell you, first of all, I'm sorry that that shift has happened, but with all change comes an opportunity to actually up your game. And I'm super excited that we're introducing, for the same price that we're giving you the 2 bottles of cherry, you're now going to get Sleep Nightly and the EPA in your ULT. And I'm super stoked about that. Sleep is one of the most critical things for stress management, one of those critical things for central nervous system regulation. It's one of those critical things for recovery, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And without getting a proper night's sleep, they can tell you that regardless of how well you eat, regardless of how much nutrition you get, that the lack of sleep can actually sort of, unfortunately, contribute to things that otherwise would not happen to your body. So I'm super stoked about this new product. Would you like to hear a little bit about it?
Yeah.
Well, it's based upon scientific evidence, and I put some little notes for myself just because I know my brain would be spinning by this time. But it's based upon 5 clinically proven ingredients, each one that offers a different support for deep nightly sleep. And the first is reishi mushroom. And who here digs reishi mushroom? Anybody? Reishi is one of the most clinically proven, studied, and used mushroom in the world. And so reishi mushroom helps create deep sleep and central nervous system regulation. It is something that helps actually soothe your body, puts it in a position to get ready to sleep. And the next ingredient is ashwagandha. And ashwagandha, does anybody know what cortisol is?
Yes.
So cortisol is part of our fight or flight reaction. It is part of our, it helps us to survive. It is a survival reaction. But unfortunately, because we have blue light late at night, because we have loud noises late at night, because we have work that sometimes goes until just before we gotta go to sleep, cortisol is actually dysregulated. It's not working for our body the way that it's supposed to. And so many people have unnaturally high levels of cortisol that I felt that adding ashwagandha, it was critical to the success of this. Now, in clinical studies that we've looked at, it only takes 260 milligrams in clinical studies to actually have that calming effect on your body. We put 300 milligrams just to be sure, but the clinical studies show that 270 milligrams is all that it takes to give the effect that we wanted for this product. So has anybody ever heard of ashwagandha? It's the Ayurvedic herb. Awesome. I thought that there'd be a lot of I put a note. This is what I thought that I'd forgotten. I didn't want to forget stuff. According to the study, 30% reduction in cortisol levels in a very short time when you start taking ashwagandha. So again, now the next is passion flower. Anybody ever heard of passion flower? Anybody ever used passion flower? Like, it's one of the most commonly used herbs. And passion flower deals with anxiety. It deals with that running things over and over in your head, the worries throughout the day. You're trying to remember what you shouldn't forget for tomorrow. Does anybody do that besides me? Okay, let me make this mental list of all the things I don't want to forget tomorrow. if I just get up and write it down, but for some reason I don't do that, but this thing where we keep having these recurring thoughts and we need to settle our brain down, well, that's where the passion flower has really been good at. That anxiety that we're not going to remember what we need to remember, that we're not going to do what we need to do. And so it's one of my favorite teas, one of my favorite herbal teas. And then finally, we have chamomile. And that's the last thing I wanted to put. Remember I told you I had some notes. There's no dependence, even though passion flower is known to sort of create that tired feeling. There's nothing in it that makes you dependent on it, like other herbs that do that same thing for you. And so that was a note I didn't want to forget. Now chamomile, it's relaxing, but the cool thing about chamomile is it puts your body into that first step of going to sleep. It initiates sleep. It tells your body, okay, let's let go. And you all know what that feels like, right? We've all had that feeling where that your brain said, okay, I'm letting go, and like 30 seconds later, you're out. Me, I know exactly when my brain decides to let go, but I know that it's better with chamomile. So 5 clinically proven ingredients, each one holding up a different part of this agreement that you're making with your body to treat it well. So it was explained to me by Dr. Bernard Jensen, who Amy and I knew personally. We used to go and visit him on a regular basis. He would download knowledge from his head that he didn't want to die with him. Think about that. Probably the greatest, most well-known naturopath of our age. Invited Amy and I to come down almost every weekend. He would just sit there and talk, and we would take notes. And it was so funny because he'd make these big circles, and then he'd cut them into pizza pies, and he'd show how each one of the things has to do its job, or else the other thing can't work, And so I'm going to set down the microphone, and he would say that, imagine that you had a big round table, right? And you told one person to go pick it up. Imagine if one person tried to pick up that table and it was even bigger around. Well, it'd be really hard for that person to do it. And if the 2 people did it, it would still be off balance, going left and right. But if you had 5 people pick up that table, each one could just use one finger and stand around, and between the 5 of them, they could easily lift up that table. Whereas 1, 2, or 3 people would still struggle. And he said that's how homeopathy works. Naturopathy works. Is that each one of these herbs has to do its job, or the other one can't step up and work. It just can't. And each one of them has to be in place, equally balanced, and then you can do almost anything. They said, but that hammer effect of Western medicine, that you just take a hammer, it's like whack-a-mole. You just walk around and start slamming down on symptoms, right? That's not the medicine that he espoused. It's not the type of lifestyle that Purium espouses. We espouse the thing where you take care of your body, and your body is going to take care of you. So we want to give you these tools to help you to care for your body. I know that we're getting closer, just 15 minutes from the finish, so I'm going to turn it back over to my partner.
Well, and so that's called synergy, or synergistic combination, and that's what you'll find in all the Purium formulas, is they're synergistically combined, so the parts actually do greater than each of the pieces individually. So the sum of the parts is greater than, I don't know, I'm not saying that right,
No,
but
yeah.
anyway, synergistically combined is good. So the ULT is amazing. It's our most popular package. It's the package that's right for most people to join the business. I want to shift gears really quickly. I think many of you here and most of you know that we are a direct selling brand. We have brand partners. We have incredible leaders that feel that same passion that Dave and I do. And I'd love to invite a couple, I think there's 4 leaders I'd love to invite, and maybe we could do a 1.5, 2 minute little thing each. So I'd love to invite Carolina Raw to come up, if one or other of you, or both. I'd love to get Allison to come up, Dominique to come up. These are our crown leaders in the company. So come up, because have I missed any crowns in the audience? I'd love for you guys to come up and share quickly what this business means to you. The ability to change lives by sharing these products. And yeah, so Allison's here. Come on up, Allison, and share, what does being a Crown Leader at Purium mean to you?
Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you. I'm gonna give you my little thing here.
You guys hold 1 second, just give a quick hug. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, so great to be here. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. It has changed our life in so many ways. Where to start? First with the health. I started this as a healing journey for myself personally. I had skin issues, I had mental health struggles, and I had IBS. And a lot of these things actually I normalized. I thought they were genetic. I thought they were due to circumstances. But my friend actually was, for a while encouraging me to do this gut repair. And it took me a while because I didn't see the connection. I was like, I'm eating really healthy already and I'm doing everything right. It's not my gut. The reason I have this is I was making all these excuses. And finally, she actually carefronted me. She really was, she said, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. You have no risk to try this. I see you struggling. I just want to see what this will do for you. And so luckily, I did say yes. And within a really short time of having, right away when I said yes, it was like this, I did something really good for myself. I felt this shift in my energy that I'm investing in me. Wait a second, I deserve this. And when I got the package and I tried the green juice, right away my cells lit up. My body lit up with energy that I hadn't felt in so long. I was already dependent on coffee at that time, 2 cups a day. And one of the things that was really incredible was when I first started drinking the green juice, my energy was so good that I didn't need to go and have my coffee. She was actually really amazing to say, drink the green juice before you go make your coffee. She never said, cut it out. She just said, do this before. And then just having these superfoods, it became so much part of my routine. It just made me feel amazing. My energy improved. My skin started to really improve before my eyes. People at work were noticing it. Jared, my husband, he was actually someone who was also, a skeptic like me, and he thought oh, we're gonna get our money back because this isn't gonna work, and and he really, ended up drinking the green juice with me on that first package and started seeing these benefits. And then we naturally, because Jared had these incredible benefits himself with asthma and allergies that we had no idea would be related to the gut had he not done this. My IBS started to I was like, wow, I'm regular for the first time ever. My sleep was improving, and I used to be on medications. So just phasing out some of the habits I was doing for this, it just replaced everything bad that I was doing. And then the business was a no-brainer. So the business, sharing it, became a passion, a purpose. It really put me into purpose, which was part of my healing as well. And the community was really medicine for me as well. So being surrounded with so much support and having someone believe in me, and then being able to watch people's lives that I've changed for now over 7 years now has been just the most rewarding thing in the world. So thank you so much. Yeah.
I love that story.
Thank you so much, Allison. Who wants to go?
You wanna go together?
Yeah, can you come? Do you mind coming up? However you want to do. Come up as a family. Oh my goodness. The TV is so beautiful.
Hi everyone, so my name is Carolina and I joined this business about a little bit over 7 years ago. And when I came into this business, I didn't really have physical transformation. I was looking for a financial transformation. Because back then I was an architect. I was working full-time in Santa Monica, Beverly Hills, working with multi-use residential buildings. And my career was my life, my identity. But I didn't have any time. I was working 80 hours a week. I was always busy, under stress. And I just wanted to have some free time. I wanted to be a mom, and I didn't see that lifestyle being sustainable for myself. So at that time, I was dating this guy, now the dad. And he actually introduced me to Purium, and he said, you're into health, you love to help people. why don't you share this on the side and maybe you make some extra income? And I said, sure, why not? I want to make some extra income so I can take some time off from work. And fast forward, I did this part-time for a year, and then after a year, decided to do it full-time because I fully replaced my architect income. I created a multi-six-figure income with Purium, changed my life. I've been doing this for over 7 years, and now that I'm a mom, I get to enjoy the residual income from all the years and all the customers and all the lives that I've changed. And it keeps on paying us forever. And then he decided to do this as well. Oh yeah, our NICU story. So my water broke early, actually, and it wasn't the plan. But we ended up going into the NICU, and I was there for almost 2 months. And during those 2 months, I was pretty much leaving there. Thank God the hospital that we went to had a private little suite. So I had my own bed, and I was there. And does anybody have a NICU baby? No one? It's stressful, right? You listen to monitors every 1 hour, and nurses are coming in 24/7. And I didn't have brains to even think about work or finances. And when life gets tough, bills keep coming. Bills don't stop when we're going through hard times. And I was able to completely be present with my daughter for 2 months, and my business was still running in the background. And I noticed when I was there, because I was literally a full-time resident of the NICU, I will see all the other babies, and their parents will usually come in the evening. And I will see these tiny little babies by themselves all day. And I try to, network and meet some moms, and they would just come, drop off milk, and then go back home, and their tiny little newborn was alone the whole time because they had to work. They couldn't take time off. And they have kids, and they didn't have a community to support them. And that's another thing that I was able to create with this business. Like Sharon came to the hospital, she was there, she brought me a lot of Erewhon food. And we grow this as a community, and we're in business for ourselves, but we're never by ourselves. And I really got to experience that.
So before Purium, I used to own several gyms in downtown LA. And so being in the health and wellness space was really important to me when I started thinking about what my next business was going to be. And I started thinking like, okay, there's some things I don't like about owning this business. Primarily that I couldn't ever leave the city that it was in. I had to not take long vacations, not think about living somewhere else. The overhead was tremendous. And then also I had employees that ended up resenting me because there was no way that they could make as much money as I would ever make. And the thing about when she went into the NICU, I was able to cook her meals 3 times a day. I was basically a full-time chef for 2 months.
We didn't eat hospital food.
We were like in there full-time, and then I left to walk the dog and to cook like full meals because we didn't even enter the cafeteria there. We didn't know where the cafeteria was. She got like full out meals from me because I had the flexibility, I had the leverage with this business to be able to do that. And there's no way that I would have been able to do that in pretty much any career that I could think of, including like entrepreneurship. This is something that you can leverage your time and your energy. When I owned my gyms, I heard about something called the 80-20 rule. Are you guys familiar with the 80-20 rule? So it's essentially like if you look at your daily tasks as a business owner, there's likely 20% of your tasks are responsible for 80% of your income. And 80% of the things that you're spending your time on is likely responsible for 20% of your income. And so I started thinking like, in my next business, how can I just be doing the 20%? Or like, how can I just find a business that I'm only doing the 20% to earn the 80%? And that's really what I found here. There's no overhead, there's no location dependence. My job isn't to utilize employees to the best that I can. It's really to help and support other people, both with our products and then also from a business standpoint. And so I really found the 20% with Purium, and I just recommend it to everyone.
Awesome. Dominique? Share your story with Purium.
everyone, it's so good to see you all here today. So my journey started when I was a little kid, about 6 or 7 years old, and had the worst stomach pain. I would cry and scream, it was so bad. Very stressful. I was in the hospital multiple times. I felt like I lived at the doctor's surgery, prescription after prescription of antibiotics. And I just kind of got used to living that way. I didn't know any other way. You just kind of manage. It impacted my education, my athletic ability, relationships, and fast forward to 2022, we had moved to America from England, and it just got worse. Surprise, surprise, right? We hear about the food industry here, the toxins being so much worse than in Europe. And so I felt that inflammation go up even more. It was so bad, I could barely put one foot in front of another. Just to find the energy to walk up the stairs in my home or make a meal for my family. And I'm in my 30s. How is that normal? Autoimmune disease is a silent disease. People couldn't tell that I was sick, but inside I was really suffering, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So 2022, I was praying. I was praying really hard for something to change because I was depressed and I felt like I couldn't go on much longer with this quality of life. And a friend of mine, she's a personal trainer, and she shared on Instagram about this program and how it focuses on gut health, which I had been spending hours and hours researching till early hours of the morning, the connection between gut and brain. And I knew there had to be an answer. And to hear the doctors, the rheumatologists say, it's gonna get worse, and here's pain medications and immune suppressants, that wasn't an answer for me. Where's the hope? So my friend shared the program, I trusted her, I didn't think twice, I jumped on it, and within 30 days I noticed a huge difference. I released 11 pounds in inflammation, I could think clearly. It's been 3.5 years now. I have not stopped doing this amazing program. Thank you, David, Amy. I had a message from my doctor to say, congratulations, Dom, you did it. They told me my numbers wouldn't change, my autoimmune numbers. So that's the health side of it. And you know, when you try something and you believe it, you feel it, and you see it changing so many other lives, why would you keep that to yourself? So very naturally, I began to tell everybody, the moms on the soccer team at my daughter's soccer game, the neighbors. Hi, Gloria. Gloria's on the social stream today, my amazing neighbor. But why would you keep it to yourself? You want everybody to experience these amazing health wins. So I came to the business and I looked at the compensation program and saw these 6-figure incomes and just kind of laughed. I thought that, a couple of $100 here and there, if I could pay off some of my debt on my credit card, that would be amazing. I had about 15,000 debt on my credit cards. I was working a full-time job, Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, being told when I could take a 30-minute lunch break. If I wanted to take a vacation with my family, it was a huge issue. I would get messages at 11 p.m. at night from my boss. And I was sick of it, I was sick and tired. And so this business, I'm 3.5 years now, but I was able to build a full-time income in just part-time hours because of the leveraged aspect of this business. So last year, sorry, I've gone over a couple of minutes. Last year, I was able to leave my full-time job. I was given an ultimatum by my boss to do something that didn't align with my personal core values. We all have our own decisions that we make about our health, but I was given an ultimatum to do something that I didn't want to put something in my body I didn't know what it was going to do to my body. And I was able to walk away without even a thought because of this incredible business. If I didn't have this business, this plan B, I would, it would have been so stressful. I don't know what I would have done, but I was able to say, I'm not willing to sacrifice my health. And so the last year, I have enjoyed so much working from home. I choose my own schedule. We do coffee meets, lunches, we work online, we see people. The first week that I left my job, I got on a Zoom with one of our brand partners in another part of the country, and we did a Zoom with one of her clients who they have a neurodegenerative disease, and they've been on this nutrition for 2 months. And the wife is telling us, okay, he's dressing himself now, he can do his tie, he can tie his shoelaces because of this amazing nutrition, instead of being stuck at work, being told what to do and when to do it. So the freedom that this business gives you, the health benefits, the friendships, the community, the income, there's, if you're here for the first time today, if you haven't tried the products, get yourself these amazing superfoods, and don't let this world profit from your pain when we have this amazing nutrition here to invest in our own health.
Wow. Wow, what a great story. What a bunch of great stories. I hope that you're all inspired. If you're out there listening at home and have gone a couple minutes over, isn't it worth it? Isn't it really, really worth it? And I just want to say that you never have to be ashamed about asking somebody if you can make their life better. You never have to be ashamed about telling somebody, hey, I think I might have noticed that you're suffering, and I think I might have a solution. And I won't be insulted if you tell me you're not interested, but I would feel terrible if I never told you about it. And then I just want to say one more thing, and it happened the other day, is somebody asked me, they said, hey, I understand that when I buy Purium that a few different people make money, is that right? And I said, yeah, absolutely. All the right people. But if you would go and drive through to In-N-Out Burger, do you ask the person who walks up to you in your car, hey, is there a bunch of stockholders making money when I buy this poison and put it in my body? I never seen anybody say that. Never seen one person ask the people selling you poison whether a whole bunch of people make money when you buy that poison. So let's get real. Every time you buy food, every time you buy anything, several people make money. But guess what? In Purium, it's the right people doing the right thing for the right reason in the right way. So you give it up for that, please.
So if you're learning about Purium for the very first time, if you're a customer who's been using the product and you're ready to jump into this business, align with us, share these products, we can help you get started today. If the person who invited you is here, get back with that person. They can help you join. If they're not here today, Katie or Stella can take an order for you, give their referral code, we'll get you signed up. We are looking to grow. We have solutions to real problems. What we need is more people carrying that message. More people like Dave who are willing to share that message, pay it forward, offer hope, offer a solution, and ultimately at the end of the day, change people's lives. So we have a lot of brand partners in this room right now who are doing just that. Thank you so much for being part of the Purium family. We have a lot of customers in the room. Thank you so much for putting these foods into your body and believing in us. And if you're hearing about us for the first time, thank you for being here, and we would love for you to join us.
I'm so blessed to be aligned with such a humble leader. This woman's amazing. She's incredible. She's tireless, and she does it all for us. And her daughters are here at work. Can we give it up for your daughters? They're right there at the back of the room. And this is a family business. They show up that way, And so I just want to let you know that I'm really blessed to be aligned with all of you two, with each of you two. And we're just getting started. So I remind you, the biggest issue in the news today, and you have to take advantage of it. You need to ask people, have you seen this video about glyphosate called Common Ground with two of the biggest stars in Hollywood, Woody Harrelson and Jason Momoa? Do you know what glyphosate is? Because they thought it was so important that they made an expose about it. So we're not the ones saying it. Although I'd love for you to read my book, The Toxin That Came to Dinner, we're not the ones saying it. These two big Hollywood stars are saying it. We've got this movie, this watch party that we want to invite you to. They want you to get people, their behinds on your couch watching it with you. Because we've got a lot of work to do. This is a job bigger than all of us, but when we join together, we can rise higher than ever.
Absolutely, thank you so much. So remember, sign up for the Common Ground Watch Party. It is happening a week from tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. And you can go to iShopKurian.com, the events calendar, and register. So thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. We have some drinks still at the back of the room. You can get an order if you like for.
And I'll be moseying around if you have a question.
Awesome.